Sara Eiesland from Brandon, South Dakota, will speak on behalf of the graduates. Sara majored in English and journalism and will graduate with magna cum laude distinction.
Fellow graduates, our families and friends, and all members of the gathered Augustana family, thank you for the opportunity to reflect on my Augustana experience. Writer Susan Sontag once said, "What writers do should free us up, shake us up, open avenues of compassion and new interests, remind us that we might, just might, aspire to become different and better than we are. Remind us that we can change." As a writer and a believer in the power of storytelling, I believe that in today's world, writers aren't the only people with stories to tell and voices to share. This desire lives inside all of us, from accountants to zoologists. As aspiring writers, business entrepreneurs, and artists of all trades, statements about the responsibility that creators of all sorts have to the masses can be a little overwhelming. As I've reached the culmination of my Augustana education, I've realized that the correct usage of who and whom in my own writing remains a mystery to me. A confession that I regret to admit to grammar professor Nancy Dickinson. As commencement has loomed, I've been struck by a harrowing question. If I don't know the so-called fundamental mechanics, how am I to take this responsibility to write, to be passionate, and to deliver on it to the best of my ability when I'm not even sure what I'm doing yet? After much self-reflection, however, I've discovered that the purpose of my liberal arts education hasn't merely been about understanding humanity's relationship to nature or determining the sine and cosine of a triangle. In actuality, I'm concluding my liberal arts education at Augustana College, having discovered that creation offers all of us the ability to pave our own ways, to break from convention, and to be true to our own voices. Whether you're a graphic designer, a chemist, an urban planner, or a physical trainer, my point is this. As long as the message of your work is superb, transcendent, powerful, humorous, jarring, or whatever you desire it to be, mere mechanics like who versus whom don't really matter. Instead, what will carry your work and you through life's triumphs and trials is the voice that lives inside your passion. It's my belief that finding your voice in all aspects of life also calls for you to convey the truth of that voice thriving within you. Writers, for instance, have the responsibility to relay the truth about a given topic, situation, or relationship that is presented in the stories that they tell. While George Orwell writes of the horrors of big government 35 years into the future, Chinwe Achebe writes of the horrors of colonization in Nigeria. While Seamus Heaney writes verses of poetry echoing the discordant troubles in Northern Ireland, August Wilson writes of the discordant racism endured by Black Americans in the 20th century. These writers have found their voice within a certain time or place, and a certain country or race, and all have conveyed their diverse passions through their own distinct voices. Similarly, all of us are walking away from Augustana today with voices of our own, shaped by the liberal arts education we're celebrating. Our voices are not fully matured, as I would argue that no voice ever is. It's the fruits of growth, adversity, and success that ensure the presence of truth in our voices, and life makes certain that this growth is never fully complete. I feel that I'm leaving Augustana armed not simply with the knowledge of how to compile an annotated bibliography. I know that as our graduation caps float into the air today, that I'm leaving Augustana with a belt stocked full of tools to aid me in this changing world. I've learned that if I go through each day with the question, how then shall I live, in my consciousness, I'll be capable of ethical choices. I've learned to find inspiration in the mundane and the extraordinary, and not to fret if I wake up in the morning with no inspiration at all. I've learned to listen to the coaching of my mentors and to graciously accept criticism, for it fosters growth. But most of all, I've learned to listen to the dreams in my heart that continually contour and characterize my voice. All of us, coming from a variety of disciplines, passions, and experiences, are leaving Augustana College today with the responsibility to pursue and convey the truth in our own voices. Whether we speak to the faith of a pastor, the compassion of a nurse, or the passion of a writer, it's our duty as the most recent graduates of Augustana College to let others hear the voices within us. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2009.